Hey, yo, what's up? What's my theme music?
Hey, what's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Podcast. It is your truly TJ Jones. Thanks for checking out the podcast. I really do appreciate it. And before I get started, I want to remind you that the Unapologetic Podcast is available on Unapologetic Radio. Unapologetic Radio is the 24-hour hip-hop and R&B online station that is available right now. All you have to do is go to live365.com, search Unapologetic Radio, or you can download the Live365 app. Once again, 24-hour hip-hop and R&B station, commercial-free. And we also have some podcasts for you, the Real Times podcast with Kimberly Marie and Bianca Rochelle. Man, great podcast. I'm telling you, man. You take the time to listen to Real Times. Two young ladies really speaking their mind, man. I'm very entertained by it, and I know you will too. And of course, my guy Jay Red with Red's View, he's giving his perspective on the culture, hip hop and R&B, and everything going on in pop culture. So check it out, man. Good stuff happening at Unapologetic Radio. But let me go ahead and move forward, man. What is this show going to be about today? I'm going to be honest with you. I had to pull a mulligan. I already had what I was going to talk about. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm going to tell you what I was going to talk about today, and then we're going to transition to tell you why I'm not going to talk about it today, okay? Because something happened, and it just completely just changed my mind about what I wanted to talk about. But the show was going to be about today. It was going to be about Instagram models. That's what the show was going to be about today, Instagram models. And what is their purpose? I mean, I was having a conversation with my homeboys, man, and they were going to be on the show with me today. They were going to be on the podcast, and we were going to talk about it, and we were going to look at it objectively because, we don't want to sound like bitter men. We didn't want to sound like that, but we're going to have to save that show for another day. I want to talk about that, but something happened, man. It just completely changed my mind about wanting to talk about Instagram models. As great as that sounds, man, something completely took me off track. And what I'm talking about is I'm talking about this company that I have been working for 5 years. And the name of the company is Fred's. That's right. On top of being a great radio personality, I just so happen to be the store manager of a company named Fred's. Now, Fred's was, and I say it was located in Memphis, Tennessee. That's where their headquarters was. But I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory, okay? Fred's is a company that basically services poverty-stricken areas throughout the South, okay? I mean, you're not going to really see a lot of Fred's in big metropolitan areas. The whole premise or the whole point of Fred's being in existence was to service poverty-stricken areas. And I want you to keep that in mind, okay? So you have Fred's in all these poverty-stricken areas. Back in 2017, Fred's decided that they wanted to get into the pharmacy game because two companies, Rite Aid and Walgreens, were going to merge together. Walgreens was going to buy all of the Rite Aids, and Fred's was going to buy all of the Rite Aids that Walgreens couldn't purchase because, there are laws that say that one company cannot own the vast majority of the capital for one particular thing. So Walgreens couldn't buy all the Rite Aids because they would have controlled the whole pharmacy game throughout the United States. So Fred's was going to basically pick up the table scraps. That's right, pick up the table scraps and purchase all of the Rite Aids that Walgreens could not purchase. Okay, Fred's had their hat hanging on this. I mean, it was a sure thing. I mean, they were all excited and stuff like that. I mean, everybody was excited because that would have made Fred's the number 3 biggest pharmacy chain in the United States of America. But what happened was Rite Aid and Walgreens made a deal that didn't have to include Fred's. And you would think that Fred's would have had a backup plan, but hell no. Not Fred's. Fred's didn't have a backup plan. Fred's didn't have a backup plan. They put all their eggs in one basket. I mean, they knew for sure that they were going to make this deal. I mean, they were telling their shareholders about they were going to be the third largest pharmacy chain in the United States, and they got their shareholders all excited and they're ready, and this is going to be our plan, and this is what it's going to be like moving forward, and everybody just salivating over the thought of all of the money that they can possibly make with this company. And you know what? Fred's was ready too. They were ready, man. They had all their money saved up. They put all their chips on the table. That's right. Fred's went to Vegas and they put it all on black. And they were willing to sacrifice anything, including store supplies. Because I can remember an email came out. They were telling members of management not to place orders, not to order supplies like toilet tissue and stuff that you need for your stores, like bags for customers can put their merchandise in when they leave the store. No, I don't order none of that stuff because this deal is a sure thing. And we need all the money we can possibly get in order to make this deal a reality. It is going to happen. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It did not happen. And Fred started teetering ever since. I mean, it's been on a downward spiral, and some of these executives, man, they have been jumping ship. And I'm not just talking about just executives, the guy who probably sits at the side of the table. I'm talking about big wigs, CEOs, chief executives. They all abandoned ship because they realized that they effed up so much that they knew that this was something that they couldn't come back from. So, the end of 2017, leading into 2018, Fred's was, man, just awful. I mean, just plain awful, man. The communication between management and corporate was non-existent. Let's just say, for example, if you had an HR issue, I mean, you call, you leave a message, and you might get an answer back. It has been absolutely crazy. I mean, there was nobody even to accept calls. Okay, usually like when you call a corporate office, you'll have the secretary, and then the secretary will transfer you to this person or that person. They didn't even have that. Okay, so if you didn't know the extension, you couldn't even call nobody. You know what I'm saying? You didn't know who to talk to. They fired people from the corporate office saying that they were going to save money. Okay, this is 2018. People started losing their jobs left and right. It was just a horrible scene. But now we fast forward to 2019, okay? Now, I want y'all to follow me, okay? 2019, working with Fred's, okay? It all started in February of 2019. I got a phone call from a manager. And the manager was basically asking me questions about my employees. The people that's a part of my team. They started to ask me questions like, what do you think about this person? And I'm thinking, I'm just talking about these people. I mean, I'm praising them up because I got some good people that I work with. I love these people to death. And I'm just talking them up. And the final question this manager asked me was, if you could let go one, which one would it be? And I'm like, huh? Like, I don't want to let any of them go. Like, wouldn't let any of them go. To be honest with you, I mean, I feel like I would go before I will allow those people to go because they're such hardworking and dedicated people. And he was like, all right, bye. You know what I'm saying? Got off the phone. I'm like, wow, that was weird. So, a couple days later, I got a phone call. And the phone call was about two long-term employees that I had at the job. And they were telling me that I had to talk to them and give them an option. Listen to these options now. They could A, take a pay cut, or B, take a severance package and they would be fired immediately. And I'm like, why in the hell would you want to fire these people? These people have been here for 10 plus years. Why would you want to fire these people? And the reason why they wanted to fire them is because over the course of time, these individuals made too much money. So basically, you are punishing people for doing their job, getting merit increases over the course of the years, and now they make too much money that the company don't want to put out because they're making too much. So you have to make a tough decision and have this conversation with these people that you love, people that you know, they basically make less than what they really deserve. Now you got to tell them they're going to make even less. So that was the first strike. Okay. And then there was a conference call from an executive, and he was, explaining why they decided to do it. Oh, it's because of sales, man. We're trying to change the business model. We're trying to cut costs and all that kind of stuff. It even got so bad that they decided to change the payroll structure. And when they changed the payroll structure, you had members of management being in stores for 7-8 hours all by themselves, all because they're trying to save money on payroll. Because if you ever are in management, they say that the easiest thing to cut and the easiest thing to control is payroll. Okay, because payroll is something that the company gives you, and this is what they call your budget. Okay, so if you're under the budget, oh, they love you for that. If you're over the budget, they don't like you. Okay, so they feel like that is a controlled expense. They need the lights, they need the water, which I'm gonna get to. I'm gonna talk about that later. They need these things, but payroll they really don't need. So you had these managers up here all by themselves all day, 7-8 hours. They couldn't do any work in the stores all by themselves. Some areas, honestly, are very dangerous areas. And you expect for these people to be in there by itself. And the answer to all this was, we understand that stores are going to suffer. They're not going to look good. They're not going to be well conditioned. We understand people are going to steal. They were okay with that. Okay, they were okay with that. As long as they had a warm ass body inside of the store, they were cool. They didn't care. And that was honestly an eye opener, because you don't give a damn about any of the people that go out here and they bust their ass day in, day out for your company. But it gets worse. Trust me, it gets a whole lot worse. So they decide that this whole budget payroll thing was a bad idea, leaving people in stores by themselves. So they basically changed it all over again. They gave us more budget. Okay, they gave us more budget. So you have people who actually were fired. Okay, they were actually fired because they made way too much money in the eyes of Fred. But wait a minute. I thought Fred's biggest issue was their lack of money. But you fire these people, and your response to that is to give stores more money? I'm confused, man. Because if you let all these people go when you want to save money, so it seems to me that you let these people go for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Like, you let them go for no reason, man, because you still ended up closing stores even though you let these people go. So you could have easily just kept them. So they give us more payroll. But the company is still teetering. It's teetering, man. It is getting rocked on its foundation. And all of a sudden, in April, they decided to close 159 stores. Out of nowhere. Out of absolutely nowhere. They closed down 159 stores. And I'm getting phone calls left and right from people that I used to work with. Anybody that knows me, I transferred from Mississippi to South Carolina. And people are crying, man. They're saying that they're so upset, man. I wish they would have just said something to me. I wish that I would have known. One lady that I talked to, she was a store manager, but she cared for her mom. So this lady worked her behind off for her mom, so her and her mom can make it. And she was the only person that had income coming into the house, and this whole store closing completely blindsided her, and she was crying because she didn't know what she was going to do, because that job was taking care of her and her mom. I'm looking at people as talking about how they have children and they put their children in daycare, and that job was funding their children's daycare. And now they don't know what they're going to do. I mean, this completely came out of nowhere. Okay, but keep in mind, like back in the day when they decided that they wanted to let some of these good, hardworking employees go, that was their solution. That was their solution. And they even said to the members of management that we're not going to make any more radical decisions, at least to the end of the year. Then we're going to reevaluate, which they lied to every single body. Okay, they lied to everybody. Now, you lied to these people from these 159 stores out of nowhere, just getting blindsided, gone. Then you got the DMs getting on the phone call, telling other stores who were basically shocked by what has taken place, oh, we don't have to worry because they decided to close these stores because these stores weren't making any money. And the stores that they closed down, they actually closed them down because those stores were actually stores that Fred's was actually paying rent to operate from. So you have stores that Fred's are paying, I guess, some person that actually owned the building rent. And now that they don't have to pay that person rent anymore, you know, that's money that they save. So it makes sense, right? And then they even assured us once again that there will be no more store closings at least to the end of the year. So everybody's like, okay, you know, like this is unfortunate. This happened, man. I'm sorry that this happened, but man, you know what I'm saying? We can get ourselves together. So in comes May. And in May, they close 100 more stores. And people like, what in the hell is going on? Like, what is really going on, man? I thought you told us that you weren't going to close any more stores. What are you talking about, man? You just said last month that you're not going to close any more stores. But we get this email, this vanilla-ass email from Joe Anto, who is the CEO of the company. And I'm going to get to him a little bit later as well. The dude, oh, we have to make tough decisions. It's never easy. It's never easy. It's never easy. So 100 more people out of jobs. People weren't ready for this. They thought that those 159 stores was the solution to the problem. But of course, it was not. Okay? So you had individuals. In this month, I got a phone call from a manager that said that she thought about leaving when the store started to close because she started to get paranoid. And she applied for a job and got the job. She told the district manager that she had an opportunity, but the company convinced her to stay because they felt that, you know, they were going to weather the storm and she don't have anything to worry about. Her job was secure and she was a part of that second wave of stores closing. Ain't that about a B? So they lied to the lady. And not only did they lie to her, they cost her an opportunity to have another job. But once again, we get a phone call, conference call. Yeah, that's all. We're not going to close any more stores. I know this can be rough. And then next month, they closed 49 stores. And to be honest with you, this wave of stores kind of hurt me because the store that was a part of the 49 was the store I actually started out in. And that's when I really started to get pissed off because now I realized what the hell was going on. This company was using individuals. They were using these people because, once again, I said at the beginning of this podcast, they're in poverty-stricken areas. They know that the majority of people that work at these jobs, some of them don't have the means of transportation. When you're in a small town and you have to travel 20, 30, 40 minutes to the next main city in order to work, they know deep down inside, they're saying, well, what are these people going to do? You know, what are they going to do? I mean, if we close the doors, I mean, they're going to continue to work because they ain't got nowhere else to go. So not only are you changing people's livelihoods, You're taking advantage of them as well. But them 49 stores, once again, that was one of the stores that I started in. And once again, I was ticked off. It made me upset because I love all of the people there. The majority of the people that worked there, I gave them their jobs. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that interviewed them. I'm the one that put them there. And I'm not trying to say that to sound arrogant, but I just have a lot of respect for those people. And for them to get blindsided like that was just absolutely ridiculous, man. You know, Fred's had a problem, and they continue to have a problem. From the making of this podcast, right now, Fred's only has 80 stores left. They just closed 129 stores. And this company, in my opinion, without a shadow of a doubt, is the worst company that I ever worked for. You know, I mean, they had some nice people. I'm not going to try to knock them completely. But this is the worst company I ever worked for when it comes to caring for their people. Caring for their employees. Employees that they don't pay that much. Employees that they tell us to start them off at $7.25. They have, over the course of time, there used to be a time where they used to give employees gift cards, you know, for Christmas because, you know, show that they appreciate them. They scratched that. There used to be a time where they wanted us to, you know, acknowledge employees of the month, you know, give gift cards. They canceled that. They're slow to respond when it comes to conditions of the store. There have been roof leaks in stores that I've been to. Lack of air circulation in other stores. I mean, they even have issues paying their water bill. I remember going into a store and the water wasn't on. And we called the water company, and the water company said that they didn't pay their water bill for 3 months. I mean, this is a true story. I mean, this is a straight up 100% true story. They did not pay their water bill in 3 months. Well, of course, you know, when they found that out, you know, they paid it. But turns out the reason why they didn't pay it because the person that was actually in charge of the you know, paying the bills and stuff like that, they were fired. Oh, man, you can't make this stuff up. Just all around terrible, man. Just awful, awful, awful. But they're continuing to work. You have only 80 stores left. You closed, you know, man, over 400 stores that you had. And I look at news articles, according to Memphis Business Journal, the CEO of the company, Joe Anto, makes $675,000 a year. $675,000 a year. I mean, a guy who don't give a damn about his employees. I mean, this guy just basically gave the same statement every single month the store closed. I mean, he didn't even change it. He didn't change the statement. He didn't change a and to a the. He didn't change a is to a was. None of that. Just the same statement. And then I have zero respect for the executives at that company because instead of you being man enough or woman enough to be on a call, to let your employees know the transition that the company is going through and help them understand what's happening, you decide to hide out and tell the news through your district managers. Your district managers who basically are blindsided themselves because if you close all those stores, where the hell are they going to work? So you can't blame the district managers. They are hiding out in those offices in Dallas, Texas, and they are telling people absolutely nothing, taking advantage of hardworking people, making employees, management fire hardworking people. They wanted me to fire my 74-year-old employee who's been there for 12, 13 years and basically the lifeblood of the store. That's what they wanted. They made a manager fire a 82-year-old lady who basically only worked because she wanted to feel like she had a purpose. But that's Fred's, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't want anybody to think, oh, man, you know what I'm saying, you just upset because your store is closing. No, my store didn't close. So I don't want anybody to think that this is sour grapes because something happened to me. I just know these experiences and I just know these people. And to be honest with you, like I said, I don't give a damn anymore. I don't care. I don't care about the outcome. I don't care how this sounds because this needs to be known. This needs to be known because what they have done to these people, all because they feel like these people can't afford to leave, or they feel like they have these people handcuffed because of the areas in which they live, is a disgrace, a downright disgrace. And every single person for this company needs to be ashamed of themselves because they could have gone about this a completely different way. A completely different way. But I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, you might not know anything about Fred's. You might not ever even heard of the company. But just know this, they have shown in 2019 that they don't give a damn about anything or anyone except Fred's. But this has been an Unapologetic podcast. Previous episodes are available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio.com. Please check out Live 365 for Unapologetic Radio, 24-hour hip-hop and R&B station. Tell me what you think about the station. If you want a song to be played, you didn't hear the song on the station, just let me know. I have no problem with adding songs. Station is for you. It's for station where you don't have to listen to a whole bunch of commercials before you can get back to the music. So this has been Unapologetic Podcast, and all I gotta say now is we global.
Destination, he don't bite his tongue for Nathan. Baddest podcast is your favorite. No faking. He speaks the truth with no exaggeration.